Hey, social media family. Welcome to a long overdue in person video. Y'all, I feel like Auntie is out of retirement or something. Y'all know I have not did a video in the 2 years that I was homeless, honey, and a little bit more before that. Y'all know I am the series queen. We get into it, we talk about it. But listen, I'm just so geek. I'm so geek. Y'all know I'm gonna have to slow down and calm down because when I be excited to hop on camera, I know I can talk a little fast sometimes, but I'm gonna have to slow down a little bit because the topic of today, this is an introduction video so we can get ready for the raw and uncut information. When I say raw and uncut, it's not to be disrespectful, but I'm going to say what needs to be said, what people are thinking in their hearts and mind and probably afraid to say because of the family, because of reputation. I have a reputation of my own, but somebody has to tell the truth and shame the devil. And that's the number one problem that we have today. It's given that the pastors be scared. It's just given that certain Christians be scared to say it. And I'm going to say it because I read it with my own two eyes in my Bible. So I'm not saying nothing that ain't already said. So if it ever came to some beef or something, I'm going to be found blameless in the kingdom of God because I'm saying exactly what he said. That's what he said. He tired of his men and women being whores and raising their children to be whores. Right now, and I encourage you to do your extended research and watch that 6 or 7 part series that we dropped about the Lord being upset about his men and women being whores. All of that wisdom came from Jeremiah, like the whole 54 chapters of Jeremiah when we did that series, because we have to understand that a whore is just not a promiscuous woman. A whore is a certain behavior, period. Get into that. We're going to get into today's topic. I do have my handy dandy notebook. Like I said, this is an introduction video. It should be like 2 or 3 parts because of course we're going to get into scripture about some things also. Um, what's going on right now in my city where I'm from? Let me give y'all a backdrop in the introduction video. I'm from Flint, Michigan. And mind you, the girl has always been a runaway child. Like, I never wanted to stay in this town or nothing. Of course, I'm born and raised in this town or whatever have you. When I was of age, really not even really, because I was running away and sneaking out to whole other states. Damn near other countries. Like, the girl gonna leave. Because I knew something wasn't right here. And I was right. So, I lived in Atlanta, Decatur, east side, west side, in the hood. I lived in Wisconsin, east side, west side, south, north side, Ypsilanti, when I was, still kind of younger, a younger adult and an adult. Me living in this town as an adult just happened. And then even when I was living in this town as an adult on my own, finally, probably like 20, maybe like 2018, 2019, I still was not living in this city. I still was not living in this city. I was forced to move in this city when I became homeless. And even still being homeless, I still didn't live in this city. You know what I'm saying? There was a time where I did have to live in this town in a shelter and different things like that. Had to become the resource plug. I had to get the resources and different things. So when I had to live in this town or when I was in this city, I seen a lot, I learned a lot, and it just kind of further directed me on why I never wanted to live here. Now I'm living here for a minute until I can, you know what I'm saying, until it's good. But it's still not somewhere I want to be long term. But the number one thing I do know about this town is a lot of people, they call Michigan a murder cap. People get Flint and Detroit mixed up a lot. Detroit is like an hour or something away from here. That's a whole nother town. This is a town right here in itself. And in Flint, we have multiple little like towns and little hoods and stuff. I didn't know that this city, now mind you, I ain't never been on the gang side here. I've been in gangs in other states, but in my city, I have never been like in no gang or no wild activity. The girl was just doing her little horror little one too when she was growing up, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, as far as like hood activities and stuff, my hood activities was in other states. So I didn't know what to look forward to living in this town. And I tell you what, when I turned 31, I was, like I said, as a child, like a young adult, of course I was partying this town when I was living here and stuff before I started leaving or whatever. But being an adult and I just started hanging out this town, my 31st birthday, like I started celebrating from March all the way probably to May. I seen a whole lot of hating. I seen a whole lot of everything. Seeing different content creators and stuff. I see a whole lot of stuff. And now as a recent, like the city has been doing great. I think it has been amazing that everybody has been coming together and having safe events. But there has still been affliction with people putting blood on their hands. And there's been a lot of topic about where it's coming from, why the youth is doing so much killing. And all I keep hearing is put the guns down. Y'all gotta put the guns down. Well, we have to realize it's a commandment. It's in the US Constitution, the right to bear arms. The way that we communicate with people, the way that we're trying to rally up and do things, the conferences that we be having, the way we be talking, the way we be trying to pull people up out of the streets, and the way we be trying to pull people up out of trauma and sin, it's not getting anywhere because we're still not talking with love. A lot of us is still not coming from a place of understanding. Like, a lot of people still not really trying to understand. You still have a lot of leaders trying to clout chase at the same time of trying to tell somebody to help somebody. You have a lot of people that's saying they're leaders and they're still like hating at the same time. And we talking about YNs. This is what this whole thing is about. A YN, somebody made that up in whatever state or whatever, and you know how we can just make up stuff like that and we run with it. That's the same way we can change the narrative of other things. But in order to do this, we have to come out of love. So I'm gonna give y'all a little backdrop here. Let me see how much time we have on this introduction. We have 6 minutes and 20 seconds. A little backdrop about why I feel like I could talk about a little YN activity, because right now I'm 31 and I always spoke to men like that was just my attraction. That's just my type. Just men like a couple of years younger than me. Not to be their mother. Now y'all can ask. Well, you ain't gonna have nobody ask. I ain't telling you no tea like that. But I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't nobody mama. I'm not coming like your mama. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing none of that. I don't got no kids. But the one thing I've learned a lot about dating YNs. Like I said, I never exposed nobody nothing about nothing. I just want y'all to know that when I be talking about certain stuff, you don't gotta have kids talking about certain stuff. You got experience. You don't have to do certain things to talk about it. You have experience. So I have experience with young men. If we change the narrative of saying YN, because that changed their whole identity anyway, calling them YNs, and now they running with it. But if we change their identity about, young men, or YM or something like that, then that helps also. But I have dated young men. I have dated, the ones in the streets. I have dated some that's been DL, suffering with and I don't judge them, and don't judge them when you hear me saying this neither. Period. I have dated some that has been struggling with their sexuality. I had some come out and tell me about it. I had some never tell me about it, and I just was aware of the feminine behavior. I have dated the YNs that have been virgins. Again, mind your business, stay in your office. Don't get to judging nobody. Just get the tea. I have dated young men that have mother problems, father wounds, and all of the things, murderers and everything else. And I'm going to tell you, excuse me, whether it was a sneaky link, it was a one night stand, and I had a couple of boyfriends, like a couple of young men that actually asked me to be their girlfriend. Because y'all know sometimes be delusional, like, my man. Girl, that man ain't asked you nothing. But I did have a couple of young men that asked me to be their girlfriend. A couple of, YN boyfriends in jail, and a couple of YN rappers that I won't, it just don't matter. It don't even matter. So I feel like I have a little bit of experience with this YN topic, with the younger man being aggressive. And I'm going to speak to you about some different ways that, just a little, like, just some things, bro, just how you can speak to them out of love. I'm not saying that this advice or nobody advice, none of the rallies and none of that we doing, I'm not saying about to change nobody, because everybody's going to change at their appointed time, period. There's a time and a season for everything. Maybe it's not time for that young man to change. But the one thing we can change while we out here trying to figure out how they're going to put the guns down is the way that we communicate, is the way that we respect, the way that we listen to them. And if you have children, this about to be like that. Like I said, so y'all can already just prepare your hats and popcorn and lace fronts. get ready, because it's going to be raw and uncut. I'm going to say what needs to be said. That's just on period. The main topic of everything is just love. I know that's cliche, like, oh my God, love don't pay the bills, so yeah, my young nigga gotta be out here robbing. Like, what? Like, because I need my hair done. Like, what is she talking about? I'm gonna tell y'all. So basically, we gonna get into it. So far, I have just been sharing some content that we already had. Like I said, I don't like to try to we already spoke about it too much in some other content. I just share it. Like we got way too much content and creativity to be talking about the same thing over and over and over again. So if it's already something that I already spoke about in like a series or something, I just reposted. This information that we're going to be talking about is some new information. The whole topic is about love. That's how you're going to soften the hearts of a YN. Love, period. So this is the introduction. I'm finna get ready to post this right now. Like, I'm promoting this over all of our social media platforms. When that is done, I do have my handy dandy notebook, like I said, and I got me some probiotic with a little pineapple in it. And I'm in a closet. This is like this gonna be our little place, you know what I'm saying? This is where we're gonna be doing our content, because this is my little secret place. I like it in here. It projects pretty good. I'm looking, you know what I'm saying? This is my first time looking, you know what I'm saying? Well, I said, got a little nice little touch to it and everything. Look, the lighting look good and stuff. Skin, hey, look. At the end of the day, let me stop fooling for real. But no, now listen. Let me start fooling. Let me post this video, because we finna come back and we gotta get into it on a serious note. Like I said, go ahead and grab y'all popcorn and be ready, because I'm not sugarcoating nothing for nobody. But you know what I'm saying? We gotta talk about it. Excuse me. We gotta talk about what's going on out here. My intentions of dropping this work is not about to change nobody overnight. It's just awareness. And like I said, certain topics that people be talking. I mean, that's why we be here. That's why we do our raw and uncut, because it's, you know, famous topics and quotes and different things like that. I try to stay away from too much personal stuff. Like, this is more directed towards my city, but I won't be tagging nobody. I won't be saying, you know, no certain names and nothing like that. So, again, this is the introduction. I'm about to get ready to drop this. I love you. God bless you. And I will see you in part 1. Look, that's how we run it now. So, this is the introduction. Just letting you all know how wild it's going to be. And then I'm going to come back for part 1. We're going to come back in part 1, and we're just going to talk about, you know, some more of my experience with YNs. I'll call them YN for the purpose of the video, but we do need to change our tone. And then part 2, we'll get into it. And then part 3, of course, we're going to open up the King James Version Bible, because it's all the tea is up in there too. I love you. God bless you. And I will see you back in part 1.